Hey everyone, this is Real McDowell here, giving you guys another terrible channel update for the month of March. There's only a couple of things I want to touch upon, so without further ado, let's just kind of jump right into this by mentioning the Hiccup series. And that Hiccup series being Warsong, or to be more exact, Langriser, a tactical RPG that was released for the Mega Drive and would later be remastered on Steam with its sequel, which, surprisingly, I think I discovered it when Nier Automata was on sale, so a bit of a funny thing, as well as I think I was on the third scenario at the time, but to give a bit of a brief update, I think the series is almost done. To my knowledge, there's only 20 scenarios, and I am on the 15th scenario. So, recording-wise, I want to predict I should have the game finished sometime next week on the recording side. For the uploading side, I want to assume April or May. At the very worst, May, depending on stuff. But I don't really know because I'm currently in the middle of editing videos right now, so that I can basically get the stack ready to go. So, yeah, that's something. But to kind of mention the hiccup right now, as you can tell from episode 6 of the series, I did not list it as blind, and the reason for that, as well as you can tell from the characters, yeah, somehow the episode screwed up. To give a bit of two likely scenarios that could have happened, and for the most part, it could be believable because it is me. One scenario is that the game wasn't recording. Now, to kind of give a bit of a brief thing here, recording with Giga Fusion with the Microsoft Game Bar is a bit weird because compared to, like, I don't know, when I record things with the NES or Super Nintendo emulator, I get the notification on the right side, the right time bar, just to give me, like, you know, the thing, and I play in the full screen. If I do that, then it's like, okay, here's where the game is, and then blah 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 type of thing. I could easily see the timer, give it the 5 seconds, and then immediately start at around 6 to 7. But with Giga Fusion, I don't really get the timer. Instead, my notification would be the screen flickers. So I think what could have happened is that I assume the screen flickered, and then I just played the game without prior knowledge, or something else. Or the other scenario, I did record the episode, but it was basically mixed in with like other footages from like the past series. And yeah, I think it could have been at that point where I was cleaning off the laptop to the point where legitimately I could have deleted the episode. So that was basically either scenario 1 or scenario 2. I do apologize for that, but one thing that I discovered was a cheat code that let me go back to scenarios. However, the negative side of the cheat code is that depending on like which chapter you go to, I think it's like chapter 4 and 6, which are the more kind of problematic ones to say the least. If you go back to a chapter with the current character that you're using, or like, I don't know, let's say like chapter 4 with the slimes. So basically in chapter 4, if you reset to chapter 4, you basically have Mina in your party immediately, and basically Mina is the only decent way to end that chapter early because she is excellent along with her guardsmen. So if you basically hold out until NPC Mina shows up, and you finish the chapter, NPC Mina overtakes your current Mina, so you'd be basically back to a level 1 cleric. So if I was like, I don't know, a high priestess, I would be reverted back to a cleric. Unless you do like a bit of an exploit where you beat everything before NPC Mina shows up. So that's basically the thing. And that would also happen with chapter 6 with Tiburon and Callisis, I think that's her name. They would be resetted back to their original characters, but I think they keep the levels. Not like the current levels, but I think they keep the levels from the scenario 1, but I actually don't know. So, yeah. But, for the most part, I've already somewhat passed those scenarios where, like, you know, they join in already, and, yeah. I don't really know which scenario would be the best one to kind of summarize what could have happened with episode 6, but I want to assume either both of them happened or scenario 1 happened. So, I do apologize for that glitch there, but I do plan on replaying the game at some point, so that should be something. I don't know when, but who knows. I'm currently in a bit of a fluctuation with some of the games right now because of some recent changes I've been doing. So, let's kind of jump into the other updates right now. Again, I do apologize for the Warsong. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, the Blade of Light, which I thought was the Sword of Light, but I was apparently wrong. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. The game is currently in the middle, because I think I finished chapter 15 of the game, and like I said, I think there's only 25 chapters to the game. I think, like, what recording wise, I should have the game finished by April, because I somewhat been changing the recording schedules a little bit with no longer am I going to record Fire Emblem on Saturday and Sunday. I might just keep those days just to editing and maybe uploading, with Fire Emblem basically just taking the Monday through Friday as much as possible. And considering like Fire Emblem just take around an hour, I just record like one episode, then that's about it. So that's basically what is going on. Fire Emblem is going great right now. I do kind of enjoy the game. With the recent additions with the Dragon Knight as well as Linda, I've actually been having a little bit more fun. Beck has been somewhat hesitant right now because, I don't know, his I don't really mind the gunner type of thing, but it just becomes a little bit challenging to utilize him when, like, you know, I think it's only better if you use it with opposites compared to using it against other people, because I don't know, either that or I don't really have a good weapon for him, but who knows. I am aware of the remaster for the Game Boy Advance, so I might do that at some point. So yeah, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, I think recording wise I should have it finished sometime in April, and for the series wise it should be done in May, so that's great. Now coming up next with the new game right now being Makai Toishi's Saga, the beginning of the Saga series, and from what I've been made aware of, I think that is a side story to Final Fantasy, to my knowledge. I don't really know. Honestly, I actually really do enjoy the game. It's actually a bit of an interesting RPG. For the most part, you don't really have any levels, but instead, your only way of basically gaining stats, depending on your character, because the warrior that I picked, legitimately wise, doesn't really gain stats. You have to really buy the stats, while, like, you know, the Espers, the magicians, gain stats as they progress. So I kind of like that type of feature. I don't want to say it reminds me of playing Hero and Daughter, to which I should actually get back into. I need to actually buy Hero and Daughter again. But I've actually really enjoyed, and also, to be honest, I just finished recording the game yesterday. I'm recording the audio on the 25th also, so I recorded the finale on the 24th, and man, that final boss is actually more difficult than it is. And to be honest, like, with not similar to Warsong, but that boss took like 4 to 5 recordings since. Yeah, he is just too difficult. Unless, like, from what I've been made aware of, is that if you had like the chainsaw weapon that I actually been having until I sold it, yeah, I immediately got myself annihilated from that boss, but through some miracle I was able to defeat it, and yeah, I can't actually really say anything else about the game. So far, I really did enjoy the game, and I don't know what's going to be in store for the second game, because I think I would have to go back to Final Fantasy Legends 2, I don't think there was a remake for Saga 2, I don't know. Maybe I might do a bonus video where I look into the original, which is basically just the Final Fantasy Legends on the WonderSwan. So that could just be like an interesting one-off series thing. So that's basically something I kind of want to look into, but that's something. I think that's basically it. I want to predict the Makai should be finished sometime in April, maybe. It should be either April or May. Like I said, I'm currently editing series right now, so I should have a good decisive date when, you know, when I begin uploading all those videos. But I'll find out. So, I think that basically summarizes half of the recordings, because right now I'm currently in a bit of a fluctuation with some of the recordings. Since when I mentioned the February update that there was another game that was supposed to happen, as you can tell when I mentioned like a bit of side stories, the next game was going to be Final Fantasy Adventures, which would lead into the Mana franchise. For the time being, I'm going to postpone the Mana series just a little bit. I don't know when I'll cover it, but it's just going to be temporarily hold back. Not like Legend of Dragoon type of hold back, or even Digital Devil hold back. It's just going to be hold back for just a little bit. So it's going to happen relatively soon, but it's not going to happen like right away right now, because I do want to touch upon some other games. So yeah, the Mana series will be coming onto the channel at some point soon, but I'm not going to say when. Right now, for the 8th and 9th game, it's currently in a little bit of a fluctuation. I kind of wanted to do another series, but I don't want to start another franchise for a little bit, because, you know, we got the Megami Tensei series right now, the Dragon Quest franchise, I don't know, Fire Emblem series. We basically got like a couple of series ready that are starting up, and who knows when I'll ever get to the sequel. So I want the 8th and 9th game just to be just like its own type of thing. And there was a Super Nintendo game that I discovered, and I'm trying to figure out how long it is. And apparently, from what I've been made aware of, it borderlines on 50 hours. So what the actual hell? So that's something I might look into at some point, but like I said, I don't really want to cover a bit of a long game right now. I kind of want to do a little bit of a shorter shorter-esque type of middle type of game. So that's basically what I'm looking at right now. I think I'm narrowing it down to like 3 games right now, and who knows which games could be played in. The 10th and 11th game are going to be long RPG games, to my knowledge. Right now the 10th game, it's between 2 consoles right now, and I'm currently deciding. I might just do a heads or tails type of thing, where either I'll do one version, or I might just do one version and then there's another version. However, I am also made aware of is that the other version actually had an extra bonus content that is not in the more remastered version. And from that, I kind of want to assume most people can assume which franchise I'm talking about. I don't really think there's not really much else to go on about. Like, right now, 8th and 9 are currently in fluctuation. I don't know what I could do. I think 8th is, like, close to being completed, with the 9th game still a little bit of on a possibility of, I don't know what to do type of thing. One of the things I kind of want to do is somewhat, because for the most part I have been playing a little bit of RPGs on the channel. I kind of want to somewhat backtrack a little bit, kind of give a little bit of RPGs just a minor break. So like maybe with the 12th to 14th game, I could maybe do a little bit of, I don't know, some platformers type of thing. Maybe a little bit of point and click. I've been a little bit fascinated with some point and click games like Broken Sword or Discworld, and I kind of want to look into games because I know GOG is recently on GOG has been on a spring sale. So I kind of I want to also look into those types of games, like maybe Space Quest or King's Quest. Maybe I might want to look into the other types of RPGs that are out there, like the Forgotten Realms, Eye of the Beholder, Lands of Lore. Maybe I want to play the Elder Scrolls Arena, which, man, that's gonna be a bit of an interesting type of challenge. But I don't really know I don't know how those will fit in the schedule right now, but yeah, as of right now, I'm currently in a little bit of a flux right now, and that's all I have to say about this update video. So, yeah, hopefully this was a much better update. I really doubt it, but until then, I'll see you guys in the next update video.